We have to engage the mind with the love that we've discovered. And that's where we get to plan and dream and listen. Because I feel that when we touch the love, when we tap that deep loving presence, that Ananda presence, what happens is we are now listening to the cosmos. But when we tap it through love, then what rises as this fountain is the applications of this infinite potential through the lens of love. Welcome back to the Art of Awakening podcast, where the art of living awake becomes a daily practice. I'm your host, Dr. Sue Morter, and today I have the great honor of welcoming Dr. Jean Houston to our show. Jean is, and I'm sure you know, just going to say a little bit about Jean, but for those of you that don't know all there is to know about Jean, I hope to expose you to a little bit more with her today. She is a renowned scholar, a philosopher, and a pioneering researcher with all of her days. She has been on this planet for one purpose, and that is to awaken our humanity. And she has devoted her life to doing exactly that. She is regarded as one of the principal founders of the human potential movement itself. Jean has inspired thousands and thousands and thousands of people worldwide with her interdisciplinary teaching that blends history and culture and science and spirituality and human development overall. There have been millions of people inspired by her writings and by her interviews and her exposure in so many ways into the world of bettering ourselves. And through her extensive work with the United Nations and UNICEF and global leaders, she has brought transformative insight and action to communities in over 100 countries. And she's stepped foot in most of those. All right. So Jean brings us a deeper understanding of how we can wake up to the realization that we are living in a time of unprecedented transformation, and how this awareness opens us to a new appreciation of our potential for being the change that makes the change. And so just on a personal note, I want to share that Jean has been a dear friend of mine and a deep soul connection for years. We have the great joy of getting together and just laughing and talking and exploring what it is that being human even means. And we have a great joy of sharing the redefining of that very thing in our many conversations that we share. And so it is with great joy to bring you Jean Houston today. Welcome, Jean. Thank you for joining us on The Art of Awakening.
Thank you so much. It's an honor to be with you. And I'm looking forward to this conversation because the world is looking for a new story. And you are one of the few people who truly engages the evolution of the new story and ergo of a new form of being human on this planet at this time.
Oh, thank you for those words, Jean. It means everything. You know, we are here giving all that we have to open up our humanity and to allow us to recognize that we are so much more than just a 5-sensory individual that is trying to survive, that there is more to us than meets the eye, that we are here as the solution, bringing forth our gifts and the treasures that we possess as one arriving from this unified field of consciousness. So, Jean, as someone who's observed times of great change in your life, how would you describe the unique moment of social and human evolution that we are experiencing right now? What's up? What's happening?
Yes. One of the things I find is, regardless of who I talk to, I find that they are all confused and talking about the fact that we are in the end of the times that we know, but also at the beginning of a whole new kind of time that has been prepared for, not simply in our technology and our internationalism, but rather in the very soul of our being. So much so that I would have to say that with all the travels that I have done, I've worked in every country of the world, but I find that something new appears to be arising in the heart and soul of people. And I hope that we can discuss that, because it is a truly a transformation of self, of consciousness, and the consciousness of the world itself. We are in a new time of deep beginnings. And what are they? We can't just announce it and say, well, it's this, it's that. It's way beyond this and that. It's way beyond. I think maybe, no, it's some huge event of evolutionary jump. It's an evolutionary jump time for which at the moment there are no words. What do you find, my friend?
Mm-hmm. And so people are feeling, this, and they may not know what to call it, whatever it is that they're feeling that you're speaking of. People are feeling that times are different and that they are being called to reach inward and discover a deeper version of themselves that can navigate these times with grace and with ease. And what we're saying here is that we're in not a problem, but we are in a solution. We're in an evolution that is occurring. And so, how can you direct people to identify these sensations that they feel, the nuances in their mind, what it is that is happening differently within them? Is there any way to identify some of those characteristics for people so that they can start to realize that some of the things they may be misinterpreting as problematic are actually part of their own solution on the rise?
You know, in my many travels and of course flying over the earth a lot, there's something that I notice that is unique in my experience. I'm trying to think of what I would call it. It's as if the whole planet is covered in incandescence. Incandescence.
Mm-hmm.
It is as if it has acquired a new layer. And the new layer could be called a thinking layer, a germination, but it's spreading all over the world, above and beyond the world of planets and animals, outside the biosphere. And so, what is it that is outside this biosphere? I believe it is a noosphere, a field of mind, of heightened sensitivity, and above all, of a welcoming and an invitation, really an invitation to become part of the largest story that this world has ever known. Many people feel it in their heart, sometimes in their mind, but always as a kind of feeling healed. Something that I notice in my students that I haven't before. Like you, I've always been one who goes around and virtually says, hey, you want to be healed today? Not quite that bad. But in that genre. And they all do. They say there is so much more for us to be, to become, and even to transform. And I'm thinking of Mary Lou, a friend of mine, who said to me just the other day, you know, you talk about jump times. Well, I'm jumping out of my skin. What's happening to me? Where am I going? I'm not the same marvelous person I was last week. Oh, you're not marvelous. No, 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 no. I've become a kind of wonder to myself. Really, Marilyn? What kind of wonder? Well, I find I can do things that I never thought I could do before. Like what? Like heal my dog. Oh, good for you. I'm on your station all the time. But it isn't just my dog. It's my mother-in-law. I never felt I could heal my mother-in-law of her sort of naughty feelings that she has for the world. Well, how did you do it? I recognized her. I recognized her, not as the pain in the neck that she's always been, but as somebody who has a kind of, dare I say, an inner illumination that I would never have thought she could have. Because she's frankly always been, excuse me, I hope she's not listening. Elma, darling, I'm not exactly talking about you. I'm going to talk about you as some kind of model for me. Oh, what kind of model, Jane? Well, a model of spirit. Yeah, I got that. A model of intelligence. That I know I've always got. And also a model of turning the page on what it means to be human. No, I don't know that one at all. You got to get simpler. Well, it's not turning the page, it's the opening up of the channels of my evolutionary part. You talk about evolution all the time, and I say, what a lot of baloney. But now it's true. I I will be regarded as the ultimate pain in the neck by my whole family. I'm really in a state of becoming. Well, how do you feel it? But the other day when you did this healing on my friend, yeah. Well, it's like that. It's as if inside my arms and legs and being, there is a person that, to use your fancy language, has evolved. It's evolving. It's not into somebody that I don't recognize, but it's somebody that when I was a child or very young, I hoped to be. The person that I hoped to be is coming to life.
Mm.
That was a recent conversation.
Mm-hmm.
I think you would recognize totally.
Yes. Yes, beautiful. So you're referencing this luminous sense that we can connect with between one another. I love this comment of saying I saw her for what she actually is. I saw her potential. I saw her as this luminous being. And and so can you speak about this idea of the luminous sense within each person and how our listeners can begin to access or recognize this light in their challenging relationships or the dynamics in their life, the circumstances that they find themselves in? Excuse me.
I think it is an evolutionary jump. When we study evolution, it rises up and it falls away, and it rises up and it falls away. But this one is not falling away. If anything, it's expanding, extending itself to create new forms of being human. I mean, we're still in the form of being human, but it's as if another story, another energy has been added. And what is this story? It's the story of what I call jump time. It's not that we literally jump, but something in us moves, becomes, is not crazy. People say, I'm going crazy. No, you're not. You're jumping. Here, let's jump together. I actually do that, And I have to be very careful because as you may know, I'm really quite tall. I'm 5'11", and sometimes these people are 4'6". So sometimes I actually have hands around their waist and we jump together. But to being very literal, it's very important to be literal. And when you say something, put it into not just presence and put it into the making of the larger story. So when I do these funny things with people, often dancing with them, or I'm happen to be one of these people who's always done exercises, so I have these big muscles. I will actually pick them up and say, "See, oh, see, you see, yes. What are you seeing? Oh, can you keep me up there, well, for a few minutes? No, really, keep me up there. I'm seeing another story of a life I did not live, but I yearn to live it. Well, let's go through it. Let's find it. Let's play it out together." And we play out the whole life up to the present time. And her name is Maud of all things. I'm sorry, Maud, I might use your name. But Maud has not just another self who's yearning to be awakened. She has selves. We are, what should I say, polymorphic perverse in the muchness of who we are and what we yet contain. We're in an evolutionary jump time. Of that I am certain.
And so, as people are recognizing that they are more than who they thought they were, they might feel it as confusion or disillusionment. They might feel it as if they don't know who they are. They don't know what's next. They're not using their regular set of circuits that
Yes.
allows them to retain this old identity of self. And so, is there anything that you can share that as a recommendation for people that are feeling lost or confused or, in the midst of this waking, they're becoming something new for the first time. And so their
Yes.
reference points and their subconscious memory is trying to sort through it and find who they are today as this evolution is taking place. Are there any recommendations that you have for people that are going through this luminous awakening, this sense of self that is on the rise, and they're feeling completely, you know, disoriented? Are there things that you would recommend that they do to quell or to ground or to integrate that to benefit from these moments instead of be concerned?
Well, one of the things that I recently have been doing is having them imagine very vividly that they are partnered. And then I will actually do a series of exercises in which they would even feel this partnering and talk about her or him. It tends to be in the same form. And then ask this other partner to tell about their life, which may be quite different from the life that they've lived. And I am stunned by the richness, the color, the energy that is in the partnered person. And then I ask the two of them to get together and, what should we say, refill the bowl of their life with the not the alternate story, but the story that still could be, because I don't want to put it into the way of the past, the could be person. And then they will talk about it, and I say, well, wait, you're still walking in that humping way. Come on, walk for me. Walk to me in your partner self. Walk for me in who and what you really are. And you could just see it moving from something like this, to,
Mm.
and there's always this gaiety and this laughter because they have stepped beyond not just the regular story, they are stepping into the word that is coming to me is the anthem of their higher self that was always meant to be, but now has entered the space-time of radical possibility. And then we continue. I watch them very closely. I may do all kinds of things, not so much as standing on their head. I show that I can stand on my head, and I'm 5'11", and I'm standing on my head. And they say, well, if you can do that, I can do that, and I can do better. Well, what is the better? I'm not swaying around the way you are. I can be all that I ever dreamed of being. Tell me the dream. Come on, I really want to hear the story. Tell me the dream. And then the dream of the other self, seen as a spirited being, begins to emerge. And as they tell the new story, you can really see and feel the changes that are going through their entire body-mind system. And within a fairly short time, some weeks or some months, the full development of this other being emerges. And I help them stay with it and keep the growth going. We are made for growth. Would you agree? We are made for a kind of ongoing evolutionary journey in the great, great power of being human in some of the most difficult, challenging times, but times that also are going through the same transformations as we as a humans are. We're in a human jump time.
So you're suggesting that someone partner themselves, meaning another mirror image of them that is seeing in full potential, seeing all of the divine essence or the creative qualities, and that it could play out in any number of ways. But for someone to write that story from this infinite potential perspective about themselves, and then become that one, walking and talking and giving it legs and giving it a voice, and allowing that to have a life here, regardless of our old story, regardless of the version of ourselves that we have perceived ourselves to be through our past circumstances and the beliefs and so forth that we have generated. Is that accurate summary of what you're saying there?
Very, very accurate. Better than anything that I said.
No, not possible, my dear.
We all
and,
are.
and
We're at
so
the end of history, the beginning of a new one.
yes. So, this is what the quantum world is showing us, is that we do not have to go from A to B to C to D to develop and evolve. We could actually just become whatever it is that we are intending to become, to be, and to claim that and to own that and to embody it is something that we are learning how to do. So if we say that kind of a thing to the world, that it's possible for you to just invent a version of yourself and then live into that one, many people are going to say, sounds like a spiritual bypass, sounds like you're leaving some issues behind. What would you say in that conversation? How would you
It's
respond?
like you were once 3 years old and were not very tall, or with this and you thought differently. We're in a growth time, and it's been rumbling in you in one way or another. In what way? Oh, it's I feel not complete, and yet I know sometimes that the completeness is waiting for me to wake up. And then all kinds of new ways of thinking and being and opportunities that I never saw before begin to emerge. We're in it for the long run, for the long co-creation. That's what one person said to me recently. And I'm going with her.
Yeah, sort of just reinventing each step of the way, along the way. It changes us vibrationally when we allow ourselves to imagine a more completely expressing version of ourselves, to imagine the one who doesn't hesitate to speak into challenging circumstances, or to imagine being the one who is willing to love first and love sooner and love longer, to imagine being the one who understands forgiveness, and also imagine ourselves being the one who can see that highest in other people and draw it out of them. So we change our vibration when we start allowing our mind to explore such possibilities and explore ourselves, the possibility of ourself being that already. Just by opening to that, we change our vibrational frequency. So what can you share about your experiences with your own inner vibration changing as you've allowed yourself to think bigger, to be in the imagination and in the mysticism of life, and drawing it here into this world in all of the amazing ways that you have in the course of your lifetime? What have you noticed inside changing or feeling differently, vibrationally, energetically? Anything you can put your finger on for people?
Vibrational shift is important. Of course, it doesn't always stay. And when it starts to drip away, I think of what is it that I love the most and is so near to me? My dog. That's who
Yes.
I become one with my dog. There she is. She's listening. So, but I love dogs immensely, and have always considered myself at some level part dog. And that's when I find I'm happiest. We don't have to say stuck in the human dilemma. I mean, maybe you have a cow you love, maybe not. What I find that living animals have a mystique and a kind of beauty and completeness that we as humans don't have. Now, the lack of completeness that may give us some of our higher powers, but after a while, I say, for goodness sakes, follow your dog. Follow your dog for a few days. It'll stop getting bored by you. And if not your dog, and they say, do I have to stay as a dog? No, you can be other things. Like what? You can be your deeper self. Oh, wow, far out. No, really, Mary Sue, you have a deeper self. I saw that painting you did. Goodness, I mean, you really put your heart and your soul into that paint and into what has emerged. Well, yeah, that's what I do. What else do you do well? Well, when I'm not painting, I'm carving. And what are you carving? I'm carving out a figure of someone that I know I once knew, but who sort of disappeared. Can you at least imagine that figure in front of you? Yes, I can. Step into it, for goodness sakes. Step into it. Okay, I'm in it. What are you gonna do? I don't know. Walk around it. Eat something really wonderful. Sing a song.
Mm.
And they get through these natural places of expression. And once they can express fully and deeply, then the connection is made. And they have come home to their higher evolving self. I've seen this happen over and over again.
So, Jean, if you were having tea with humanity, and it
What
was,
kind of,
if you were just sitting and having tea,
oh,
and across the table from you was this being, called humanity, what would you love to discuss right there? If it wasn't any big demand of any large organization that was calling forth your brilliance and asking you to redesign, their ways of thinking and being, if it was just a gentle presence on the other side of the table that you felt great love for, what would you love to talk about? What would you share with them? What would you ask them or reveal to them?
what is it that you think about all the time? And then it just sort of goes away, as many thoughts do. But can you look me in the eye and I'll look you in the eye and we will both sustain a story? What is the story? For me, it is being able to be of help in this world and time before I die. Be of use. That's the big one for me, being of use. What is it for you, Marianne? Well, sort of like being of use, but there's more to it. It's more interesting. Well, how's it more interesting? Well, I sew. And I would like to sew a costume for my higher self and be bold enough to actually wear it and be it. So it was fascinating to me. She took on a physical piece of work that would then cover her in who and what she really was. I with guys, I might not do that, but I might talk about a kind of strength. What kind of strength? Oh, no, not muscles like you and I have. No. Well, what would it be? I always wanted to be someone who could walk on his hands and then flip up and go back to his feet. All right. Oh, can I do that? Let's do this together. And we would. We would do outrageous things. And the outrageous things would give them the impetus to take it not as outrage, but the inner truth that they have a larger self, a larger story that is working its way in their body and mind and find particular ways, not a big "oh, here I am," but particular ways in which they could become parts, aspects, living examples of the larger story, who then can do what? Well, there's all kinds of things that I want to do that I've been scared of, but you're right. I'm in a different, not just a body, but it's a different mind. It's a different story. Tell me the new story. And then they would tell me this new story and they would live in it.
Mm.
With one fellow that I did this with about, I don't know, 7 months ago, everything has changed in his life.
Mm.
Everything, including not getting divorced, because he thought that it was the fact that his wife was superior in so many ways. And we went beyond superiority. That was the great stuck.
Mm.
To creation with the cosmos. That's a big one.
Mm-hmm.
Creation with the cosmos to become what has been yearning to be in this world and time. And lots
What
of
is
things.
what is the role of love
Everything, I think.
in rewriting the story, in
But
healing, in evolving, in waking? What is the role of love?
being reminded of the larger, deeper, more spirited, creative person you really, really are. But doing it from the heart. The memory is from the heart. It's not from, well, I did this, I did that. It's heartful regenesis of the self in all the parts of the self.
And so when people decide to love instead of, pontificate,
Oh,
what happens to them?
everything. Everything. They even eat their soup in a different way.
and and so if
But I mean, it is everything. It's
pardon?
everything. It's every loving. It's
Mm.
loving every parts of you. And the fact that you are one of the miracles of coming into time in perhaps one of the most dangerous, but at the same time, the most potent and creative time in human history. Now, what are you going to do with it?
Mm-hmm.
First of all, I have to believe it. Well, you better believe it. You read all my books. It's all about that sort of stuff. You'd better believe it, because I believe it and I see it in you. In what way? Well, I noticed that you threw away your cigarettes. To me, that's a very big thing.
Yeah.
What else? Well, when we were walking down the street and you wanted to pat the dog, and I urged you to do so, and you did. And the dog wagged and wagged his tail in a loving wag for you, Joseph. You're right.
So these are experiences that you've had with people that are finding love, and then it transforms into suddenly they're going to take better care of themselves, or they're going to relate to the innocence and purity of
Dogs.
the animal kingdom, or just loving other human beings accordingly. These are experiences that you have had with encouraging people to love more, love sooner, love longer.
And ergo, live longer almost invariably.
Yeah, live longer.
Recently, I got a phone call from somebody that I did this particular process about, I don't know, 7 months ago. And he said, what's so interesting, that things that were so divisive and divided in my life, they've melted away in a whole new form and way of being has arisen in me. My problem, Jean, is can I sustain it? I said, that's the big one. And we talked about the art and science of sustaining. And then I said, you're a writer. Write a story about sustaining. Yeah, yeah, I could do that.
Yeah. Right.
You change the metaphor. You open up the opportunity and the option in different ways.
Yeah. Yeah, I spend my days teaching people how to build the circuitry to sustain the higher self within the body form so that it is remains even when we're not driving the imagination with our efforts and our intention to reinvent ourselves, but that the body can hold that frequency because it's built to do so. And
What do you find happens a week later, a month later, a
yeah,
year later with that person who you've taught these things? What happens to them?
well, they are evolving, they're forgiving, they're healing, they're moving into new ideas and asking for the promotion or leaving the job altogether and starting their own, private practice, or they're doing things that they always wanted to do because the circuitry is there to remain consistent enough to make a difference, to make change, to allow for the rest of the world to respond differently and interact with them differently because of sustaining these vibrations that we're speaking of.
So important, the sustaining of the new emerging evolutionary vibration. We're not just stuck. We literally are. We are energy fields yearning for love. We're energy fields wanting to break through the old ways of being and enter with a newness that allows us to become who and what we really, really are, and the higher intention for us to become that.
I'm kind of crazy because I think we're made of love. I think we drop in deeply enough and it's there. It isn't something that we have to go and find. It's our constitution in the true, authentic self. And so by dropping in, it happens automatically.
And as they begin to develop in front of you and open up and realize that they've had this all along, that's the great secret. We dropped into a planet where we have all these capacities all along. What are you going to do with it? How are you going to be with it?
Hmm. Well, that's where we have to engage the mind with the love that we've discovered. That's where we get to plan and dream and listen. Because I feel that when we touch the love, when we tap that deep loving presence, that Ananda presence, what happens is we are now listening to the cosmos. I mean, you speak about that the entire universe is within us, and I speak of the same, and that universe is infinite possibility, infinite potential. But when we tap it through love, then what rises as this fountain is the applications of this infinite potential through the lens of love, and we build pathways to discover and to explore and to have the courage to do so. And that's where the imagination gets fed.
Evolutionary beings.
Pardon?
Are living and working evolutionary beings. And
Yes.
once we begin to evolve, it happens with the God world as well. I had a funny experience, something like this a few weeks ago with one of my relatives. I'm half Sicilian. Now, some people think that's a disease, but it's not. They half Sicilian. But they're very expressive people, very expressive. And they sing all the time, Tante Belle Così. I said, why are you singing Tante Belle Così? And he said, Tante Belle Così, Januzza, what's the matter? You forgot you're Sicilian. Tante Belle Così, so many beautiful things. That's what I feel now. I'm living a life with so many, Tante Belle Così, so many beautiful things.
Mm, beautiful.
What is
Beautiful.
your ethnicity, may I ask?
Pardon me?
What is your ethnicity?
Oh, well, I'm a combination of many things, but I have German and Scandinavian and French and Irish. So it's a mixing pot.
Not one of them rises up.
They
It's
rise
my
at different
turn.
times. They rise at different
My
times.
turn.
There's a lot of the delight of the Irish in me for sure. The
Yeah.
play of life and and so forth. I do love to see the joy and the possibility and the play of life, and that definitely was something I saw on the Irish side of my mother's family. Yeah. So, Miss Jean, how many books have you written?
What is
You
your,
mentioned. I'm sorry.
oh, I don't know.
A lot of books.
Many.
Okay. Do you have favorites?
I'd
Do
have
you
liked to.
So, if
Well,
someone,
favorites that are not published. My favorites are not published. Jump Time. Jump Time. I've never
your favorite?
really got through with it,
Yeah.
but it's about how do we, express
Yes.
ourselves and
Yeah.
jump beyond where we think that we are caught to a life of deep, deep spirited love and becoming. Jump Time.
Mhm.
But I don't think I ever.
Yeah. It's the quantum being you're speaking of there. It's the quantum being, not the linear being. Jump time is beyond space and time. We're jumping into the version of us that doesn't require a long time to become what it is that we would dream to be, that we just allow ourselves to try it on, try engaging with someone as if you were already the one that you would love to be. And the world has no choice but to respond to that in kind, to respond to that, because we are creator here creating our life experience. So the way quantum science is showing us that it all works, and from my personal experience, it is that. So your jump time speaks to that. It gives people, it gives them permission to transcend the idea of space and time as a limitation.
I'm thinking of an Italian song which partakes of that. See if I can remember it. Hella luna mezzo mare, mamma mia, mare dare. The moon is in the middle of the river. Hella luna, mamma mia, I want to get married. Figlio mia, che dare. Son of mine, who do you want to marry? Mamma mia, pense tu. Mamma mia, you think of someone. Well, if you marry the skinny scarecrow girl, you'd have these children who look like pencil points. No, don't do that. I won't do that. And it goes through all these hilarious things of who, if you married so and so, this is what you're going to become. Italian songs are very funny. I'm also like you, I'm half Irish.
Ah, half Sicilian and half Irish.
Brazilian and
Amazing. Oh my goodness, Jean. It's been an absolute joy to share with you and to hear from you and to just be in your space. It is an amazing thing to be in the genius and to be allowing the flow of infinite possibilities to come through your singular space. And in the art of awakening, I'm wanting everyone to recognize that they have access to many different pathways to evolving and to awakening and to living a life that they truly love living. And I know that you have been doing that for a while in your life, and you've been a beautiful model of that for so many for such a long time. And I feel so honored to be sitting here and having this conversation with you. I know that we went through a lot of tech things. I just want all the listeners to know that we went through over an hour of tech challenge to even get here today, to be able to share some time. And the beauty of that is that's how much devotion and clarity of purpose is in this amazing woman. So I want to thank you, Jean, for being here and always showing up for humanity in all of the ways that you have. It's always a joy and an honor to share a moment with you. So
Grazie tanto, signor. Many thanks. What you say is so lovely. Now all I have to do is figure out how to live up to it.
You already have, my dear. You already have. So it's always a great joy. And I want to thank you for spending time with us today on the Art of Awakening podcast, where we're just blending these ideas and spinning them all around and mixing them up and allowing something beautiful to emerge for everyone in their own way. And to recognize that when we follow that true path that is ours and ours alone, we make a contribution to the world that is second to none. So you can find the link to Jean's website, jeanhouston.com, in the show notes, and our latest offerings in those notes below as well. Remember to subscribe and share this episode with families and friends. And thank you again for being here with us. And Jean, thank you again for being here today. It is always such a deep joy.